Well, I became interested in leprosy because I had a gap year as a student when I was 19, and like all kids in the 1960s, what I wanted to do was go to India, and so I went to India, and when I was there, I volunteered in a leprosy hospital and in South India, and the guy looking after the hospital, it was a huge old-fashioned hospital with about 400 patients, and patients were still being abandoned by their relatives there, and the guy running it said, leprosy is a very interesting disease, and they were just getting new drugs for treating leprosy, so they were just testing the rifampicin, which was making leprosy a treatable disease, which of course was a huge change in the management of leprosy. And leprosy also is, I could see that you could do things that could help people, with self-care, prevent them from getting ulcers and things. So that was important. So then I travelled back home overland. So I went back through Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, and Turkey, and that gave me the taste for travel and also an interest in leprosy. And I then trained in medicine, and then I super specialised in leprosy, and I then worked as an academic at the London School of Hygiene and Tropical Medicine, researching on leprosy, but also seeing patients with leprosy at the Hospital for Tropical Diseases. So I looked after the leprosy patients, here in the UK, and when I had new patients with leprosy, I realised that even though they were in the UK, they were still very stigmatised by their disease. And that was exacerbated by the sort of things that they were seeing on the web. So they'd go on the web and they'd see, messages about leprosy requiring long courses of antibiotics, and also that the pictures that you see are of people with the worst kind of disease. And what you don't see is that leprosy is now a very treatable disease, and that people only need to take antibiotics for either 6 or 12 months, and that they can have, a normal life. They don't need to be isolated, and they can, have a job and a family. And and these messages are missing. And so I decided to set up the New Face for Leprosy project, and this is aiming to improve the image of leprosy and to have pictures, people showing that the disease is treatable and that they don't need to experience stigma from it. The image that really sticks with me is the image of the young woman, Taslima. So she's 24, and she's living in the plains, and she's had leprosy. Initially, she hid it from her the husband, but then she shared it with her husband, but there are still some family members, who don't know about it. So again, some secrets. And she also wrote a story about her experience, on the picture, in the most beautiful Bengali. She's got wonderful, neat handwriting, the neatest handwriting I've seen. And so again, it was nice to see that. And there are also some women who were also they're very impressive. So there was a lady also in Bogra who had diagnosed with leprosy, for some time, and again, she works, in the area, and what she does is that she, cements, patient education, and she, encourages people to come forward if they've got that lesions. And so again, she's being able to detect quite a lot of people with leprosy. So again, that's important.